Oh yeah, my name is Aaron Chewning, and I am a Shorty Award losing Viner. I am honored to be here. Thank you so much to the Shorty's crew for having me, and thank you to King Batch for not taking this from me either. When I was asked to do this, I went back and watched a lot of the previous Shorty Stories, and there's a common theme through most of them, and it's people saying this. They would say, I've never told my story in a setting like this, so bear with me. And I love that. I'm in the same boat. I've never actually done it like this. I've done a lot of stand-up. I feel really naked without a handheld mic. It's very weird for me. But I think that's what the Shorties are about, at least what I think of when I think of the Shorties, is that they're just kind of saying, this is new, and we're figuring it out, so let's figure it out together. That's a really fancy way of saying, this is probably going to suck, so bear with me. Thank you for being here. So what I do for work is I'm a comedian. I do a lot of different things in the comedy world. I do stand-up. I do some sketch stuff down in Atlanta, where I'm from. Most of my my money comes from writing and directing commercials, ads, whatever for people, YouTube stuff, jingles, all that stuff. Then I also, of course, scream at my cell phone for 6 seconds at a time. That's part of it. I don't know how comedy happened for me. It was kind of random, I think, in the grand scheme of things. I should be a third-generation carpenter / developer and hunter, but I am neither of those things. I can't build anything to save my life, and I'd rather be in a human centipede than a deer stand. That's just how it is. And my dad and I love my dad, but we're very different. We have totally different accomplishments. He, at one point, held the record for the biggest black bear killed with a bow and arrow in North America. And I am blocked on Twitter by Applebee's. That's my crowning achievement thus far. I used to give him a lot of shit for not being Chili's, so they did not like that. So I'm gonna kind of go through my story real quick. I'm gonna do the Cliff Notes version of 1989 to 2013. 1989, August 5th, I was born, beautiful baby boy, super sticky and gooey. I grew up loving sports, but I found out early on that making people laugh was my favorite thing in the world. I would rather tell a good joke in the dugout than hit a home run. I found that out early. So I transferred to, we're skipping forward here, transferred to Providence Christian Academy, which is a little school in Lilburn, Georgia, in 10th grade, and it was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. There was a weekly chapel service that sucked, and everyone kind of hated it and dreaded it, and me and a group of students took it over. We called it Axis, which is a super cool name, because it was on Wednesday and the week revolved around it. Get it? It was great. But we made it engaging, the music got cool, and I got to host it. So I'd get up there every week, tell jokes, do bits. I started making sketches and dumb rap videos. They are still on a YouTube account that is public, but no one knows how to get there. So I've seen them, but yeah, they're not out there anymore, thankfully. But they really gave me a chance to kind of play with my passions and figure out what I like doing, kind of create a space for myself. So I'm super thankful for them. My grades sucked. I went to community college for a year, went to community college and failed intro math. So I failed at failing. It was really neat. Got my act together, transferred to a school called Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida, right outside Orlando. Very intense film school and art school. It's a 21-month bachelor's program. It was very accelerated. We had a week for summer, a week for Christmas and New Year's. We'd have classes from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. to really kind of get people ready for the motion picture industry. I loved my time there. It was kind of a film buffet. You kind of learn a little bit about everything. But afterwards, I knew I wanted to do smaller production stuff instead of movies. So I moved back up to Atlanta and started freelancing. Always wanting to do comedy, but I can't just say, hey, give me money, I'm funny, I promise this won't be terrible. So I started doing corporate video, and I hated it. I was on a retainer at a Mercedes-Benz dealership for a while. I shot a lot of book trailers and CEO interviews, and yeah, my soul was dying. I started getting into stand-up then because I knew I got to do something funny because that's what I want to do, and it was slowly killing me. So I started doing some stand-up. I was writing some sketch stuff, but I really wasn't focusing on that because I needed to survive and not die. And I started to have this feeling that I think all artists have at some point, and it's the idea of being inspired by a piece of art, like seeing a movie, hearing a song, and thinking, that is brilliant, so original, breathtaking. How could they ever think of that? And then I thought, my ideas suck. But then you go home and you just keep kind of working and doing your stuff, doing your thing, and hopefully eventually when you put it out there, people will send you messages and say, how did you think of that? That's genius. And there's a guy named Derek Sivers. He calls it obvious to you, amazing to others. He says it better than I ever could, but yeah, it's that idea saying these genius breakthroughs, great ideas people have, I don't think they think they're some giant creative breakthrough idea. It's just their ideas. It's just their kind of normal thing they do. Like the Beatles almost didn't put out Help because they just thought it was like, hey, one of their songs, people aren't going to like it. And then it became one of the biggest singles ever. So I realized I need to put my comedy out there. I was just kind of holding on to it. I didn't feel great about it. I wanted to be a perfectionist. And I realized I need to make moves, put stuff out there, and let the world decide instead of being my biggest obstacle. So I was in Atlanta trying to figure out how can I do that more than just the open mic stand-up scene. And for me, that was the Atlanta Braves. So I am a giant Atlanta Braves fan. I grew up going to games all the time. And my little creative circle and I, we figured we should make something about the Braves, put it out on Twitter, and see what happens, because the Braves have a huge fan base. In the 90s, the Atlanta Braves and the Chicago Cubs were the only two teams. Are you Cubs?
Yeah, sorry.
Nice. Yeah, the Cubs and the Braves are the only two teams with national TV deals. So if you're in the Midwest or Southeast and didn't have a home team per se, they usually gravitated towards one of those teams. So we knew people were ready to share it. They would love it. Just put something out there. So we made a video and a rap song called Beast from the East. I'm somehow still kind of proud of it. Most of the stuff I've made back in the day I hate, but I still think it's okay. So we made it. I sent an email to my circles of people, probably 100, 150 people, the night before we put it out, and said, hey, this is a video that we're proud of. We think you might like it. Take a look at it. If you like it, we're going to be posting it on Twitter, pushing it out at 11 a.m. to try to create some foundation for people seeing it. So 11 a.m. rolls around. We put it on Twitter. I'm seeing it everywhere because all my friends, there's like, oh, sad Aaron wants to do something, so we'll just push it out there. So yeah, I put it out there. I'm sitting at my computer, just hitting refresh like a slot machine. That's at 11. And it's blowing up on Twitter, which my definition of blowing up on Twitter has totally changed the last like 3 years. But that was at 11. At 11:45, I get a call from a guy named Scott, who's the director of entertainment for the Braves. And he said, we love it. We love what you did. We want to kind of create a working relationship, and we want to show this video in the stadium on the Jumbotron during the season. So that was a couple days before the 2013 season started. I went down there for opening day. They played it right as the teams took the field. It was awesome. And that kind of put me on the map in Atlanta. I started getting a lot more comedy work because they did like local news stuff and radio and all that stuff. Later on, we did a video with the Braves. The first one was about the Braves. This one was with them. So there was no money involved, but they partnered with us. We shot at Turner Field. We wore mariachi costumes on the field. It makes sense if you see the video, I promise. But yeah, that was great. We knew before we made it, they were going to be playing it during games and pushing it out online. I got to work with the WNBA team in Atlanta, the Atlanta Dream. Did a music video called Dream Girl for them, which is a slow jam. Super sleazy, turtleneck chain, all of it. And yeah, I just kept getting more and more comedy jobs. And it was great. I was still doing probably 60, 70% corporate video for money, but I could kind of, that would help finance my actual jobs I wanted to do. And then I got a call before the playoffs that year, and Scott, director of entertainment, called me and said, hey, we want to do a bigger video for the playoffs. And they asked me to do a parody of Iconopop's I Love It. And I said, hell no. Yeah, you want big, burly, thick, bearded American guy to sing a European girl pop song. I can't do that. So we landed on Blurred Lines. It was hip back then, okay? I know it's I know everyone's like, my God, that song, please. But we called it Basslines because of course we did. But from that call to finished video, it was 4 days. So day one, wrote the song, next day, recorded the song, next day shot video, and then edited the video. Super quick. My favorite Braves player of all time, my favorite athlete, Javi Lopez, was in the video with us, which was crazy. Normally, when the team sets them up, the alumni, they call them, to do appearances, they sit behind a table and just sign autographs, very impersonal. So he brought a suit top. We asked him to wear a suit like they do in the video. So a shirt and suit, and then cargo shorts, plaids. So we had to shoot all of his stuff very tight. But I have some great behind-the-scene pictures. So yeah, we put that out a day before the 2013 playoffs. And again, it blew up on Twitter and blew up on social media. ESPN, Deadspin, CNN, they were all picking it up, which is really cool. Buster Olney, who's ESPN's big baseball guy, he featured it on his podcast, which is a big sports podcast, and called it the best sports song ever, which was very cool because I loved him. He followed me on Twitter that day and still does for some reason. Every dumb tweet I post, I'm like, why does Buster still follow me? And yeah, that was a big career moment for me because I picked up a lot of steam there. They played it game one, the division series against the Dodgers at Turner Field. I'm sitting in a sold out, 50,000 something person stadium, and it's the national anthem, and then the Braves take the field and they play it on the Jumbotron, and I'm just sitting there with masses of people just watching them react to it, and I get chills thinking about it. That was one of those like, hey, you're on the right path kind of moments. So that was great. 3 days after that, I go on a cruise. This story doesn't really matter, but I just love it. You're all here, so just stay there. Yeah, I'm going down to a cruise with my friends, and I get a call from Scott again. It's a conference call, and he said, hey, I'm sitting here with all the directors for the Braves, which I'm not sure who exactly was in that meeting, but the directors, Hank Aaron is one of the directors, so I assume he was on this meeting. John Scherholtz, who is a big sports personality. He's like, yeah, we're with all the directors. We're really happy with how the video turned out, but you're about to get on a cruise ship, lose service, and we're not going to be connected to you for the next few days. And our legal team's a little worried that maybe Robin Thicke's people are going to reach out because it started getting noticed. And so like, can I get your YouTube login just in case we need to take the video down while you're at sea, So I said, yeah, of course. I said, here's my email. And then my stomach dropped, and there was just silence. And he goes, your password? I said, yeah, it's Penis Castle. Yeah. And it was just probably 5 seconds of silence. And he goes, are you kidding? I was like, no, sir, I'm not. That is for sure my password. So now you know. I told them that I just sent like an outline, and it's Penis Castle in bold. And they're like, what the hell is that? So now you know what that's about. So I guess that was a lesson in professionalism. I don't know. So yeah, I kind of fell in love with social media video making. Those release days were so fun, and watching it be shared all over social media. So I had Vine the whole time that year. I got it when it came out. I was terrible, just like most people when you first get it. If I saw a dog, I would just do 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds of a dog. I posted 10 Vines of the same concert one time, which on Vine or Instagram, you post 10 times of the same thing, you're just a giant dick. So I did that, but I realized this could be a good way to get my jokes out there. I saw some people blowing up. Robbie, what's up? And I was like, yeah, there's a lot of potential here. So I started Vining consistently, try to do once a day, maybe every other day. And I picked up a little bit of steam. I kind of got to know the community and fell in love with that. But it wasn't until probably about a year and a half into Vining that I really found my voice on Vine. And that voice was Amy Lee of Evanescences. I posted 3 or 4 Vines using Bring Me to Life. It would just zoom in on my dumb face and I'm just, wake me up, And so those all started blowing up and I memed myself on accident, I still to this day get probably 10 Snapchats from strangers every day of them zooming in on something. Usually they're like cat, they're just in bed and just, wake me up, it's whatever. I'm not proud of it, but whatever. Yeah, so I started picking up steam there. Vine added me to the suggested users list at some point in there, which means when you download the app or you click on the little thing on the top left to see who you should follow, I was on that list. So I just started gaining a lot of followers. For 10 months straight, I didn't gain less than 100,000 followers, which is awesome. Like there was times where I didn't Vine for 5 days and there's still 4,000 or 5,000 followers coming in. So I'm super thankful for Vine for doing that. I adore Vine. It's so dumb in the best way. Like that humor, you saw my biggest Vine ever. I'm in Walmart, I see Guy Fieri, like, oh, what's up? And then just 69 and just tears as Coldplay's doing their thing. I stood in that Walmart for an hour that day because I was like, this is from God. Like this is special. I did several different kinds of Vines and pictures and all that stuff. Yeah, and being in the stand-up world, there's a stigma around Vine and I think social media in general. I know a lot of guys that just kind of glorify the old school way of doing comedy, which is smoky bars, 6 nights out of the week, telling your jokes. Hopefully you get noticed eventually, get on bigger shows and get a special, like a HBO special and then a sitcom. But I think it's not smart to be that stubborn and stick to that, especially with how often things are changing now. Like a lot of people that hate Vine, especially the comedians, I've had conversations with them about it, and I know exactly what they're going to say, and I get it for the most part. They've seen a couple Vines, they just looked at it one time, or they would see some younger people they didn't like rising to fame, and they didn't think they were funny. I feel like it's like me going to the movie theater, never having seen a movie, watching Transformers, then leaving, being like, movies suck, But I think if really anyone takes the time to kind of go beyond that, 1% there and really figure out who's for you on the app, you can find incredible people doing incredible things that have the balls to put their face on the internet and do stuff daily. Like there's comedians that I'm positive are going to be, Daily Show correspondents in the next year or two, either or. Musicians, huge part of Vine. Like Ashley and Whitney and Sam are all brilliant musicians. Storytellers, Luke Birdie, Tony Oswald. There's something for everyone on Vine, and I really adore that about it. Where the hell am I? There's just so much opportunity on social media. It kills me with some of these guys that I know and love, and they're hilarious, and I know, hey, just download an app, just start putting it out there, and it'll blow up. I do stand-up, I do the sketch stuff, I do social media, I do a podcast called Deep Fried Kale. I'm trying to get my comedy out there any way I can, just to show people, hey, this is what I can do. Have all those things kind of be a working resume for my humor. So Vine now is not my career per se. I've done one ad in my life, and it was for the Pope. Because I just thought it was so funny that I got an email with someone copied from the Vatican. So that was great. And I made a dope joke. Like it was just you heard the wrong thing. Like, hey, you want some dope? It's like, no, I want some Pope. Like it's stupid. Because I always wanted social media and Vine to kind of help move my comedy forward, not just to kind of cap out there. Just stand up, Vine, everything, just to kind of help kind of build my brand, if you will. But now Vine, thanks to Collab, the agency I'm with, they help monetize YouTube compilations and things like that. So that is now my constant, the money as a freelancer I can rely on, just to ensure that I'm not going to be homeless next month, which is huge for me. I love that. And that gives me the freedom to, if there's a sketch idea or a trip I should take, to kind of go after that, which is huge. But yeah, Vine has been incredible to me. They took me to Tokyo several months ago, which is a once-in-a-lifetime trip. We got to hang out with Japanese creators and encourage them. I got to go to Israel last month, thanks to the Shorty's crew, went to the Shorty Stories last month over in Tel Aviv. In the last month, I went to Los Angeles to do a stand-up show alongside 4 other Vine friends. And it was sold out. It sold out early. It was at the Hollywood Improv Lab. This is a venue that I've always wanted to perform at. And it was the first time people were there on purpose to see us. It wasn't just they were going to see jokes, they wanted to see us. So it was the easiest crowd in the world. It was so fun, people were ready to laugh. I've never had a better time on stage. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm, trying to just figure out the next steps. But yeah, Vine has accelerated my career so much, and I'm super thankful for it. And I will, as long as there's an app, I'm still going to be Vining. If I could sum all that up, I would say be open to new avenues and trust your talent enough to put it out there. Thanks. That's me.
Tonys, Hollywood has the Oscars, and now social media has the Shorties.
Welcome everyone to the 7th annual Shorty Awards.
The Shorties are by far the most prestigious.
We are so proud to be part of the Shorty Awards.
Thank you, Shorty Awards.
Thank you for doing that. That was pretty cool.
I get a call, I gotta be at the Shorty Awards.
I'll speak from the heart.
Wow, that was awesome.
There is not a more passionate fan base out there.
Hi friends, what's up?
Thanks for the Best Singer Award, I really appreciate it.